So this is what 70 looks like, or at least this is what I look like at 70. Hello and welcome, or welcome back. I thought it would be fun to film a get ready with me on my 70th birthday. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to do another version of my so-called minimal makeup that I did last week, and I'll link that video down below for you if you haven't seen it. It wasn't actually as minimal as it was intended to be, so let's do another version of that, because I am kind of leaning into the minimal makeup look in terms of not doing a heavy black eyeliner, although I'm still drawn to it and have to force myself not to do it. But let's do a very light makeup today. Now, just to let you know, yesterday I thought I would film this and I was going to do the minimal eye makeup and a bold red lip. And I'll pop an image or two up on the screen of me doing that. And it looked awful. It made me look really old, I think, much older than I actually am. And that's not the intention. I'm not saying that a red lip wouldn't suit me, but I don't think it worked yesterday, and it's not something that I feel I want to go out in, even though I like the idea of it. And back in the day, I used to wear a red lip. Actually, let me start making myself up while I talk about that. Back in the day, and I'll try and insert a picture of me with a red lip at my graduation in my early 30s. I wore a red lip and virtually not much else. And I used to like to channel, what's her name, Paloma Picasso, because she had that look, didn't she? Although she had very dark eyes, dark brown eyes, and mine are green, or at least hazel sometimes. I don't know if they're green or hazel. Somebody asked me that question the other day in the comments. And I think actually they do have hazel tendencies. Anyway, so I decided actually a red lip was not really a good look for me at the moment anyway. And maybe with a lighter hair as well, maybe that's not quite working. So what we're going to do today is a light makeup. Now I am going to be using I'm just tapping my Easy Blur primer by Huda Beauty, which is my new favourite thing to put on my complexion before I put my foundation on, and that's particularly on my under eyes, which seems to be working a treat in the concealer department. This is one of my lovely subscribers, Lynette, and she came up with, I think, a genius idea of putting primer under your eyes to help your concealer stay put, and I think it works an absolute treat. So where was I? I've completely forgotten. Oh yeah, so the red lip. So we're not doing red lip, we're doing a nice simple makeup. I am going to be using a couple of new products, at least one new product. I'm not going to review it as such because I've literally only tried it out once. Actually, two new products I've tried out a couple of times, but I don't want to do proper reviews because that's not what this video is going to be about. It's just going to be a bit of a chat. It's just going to be a bit of a chat between mates, because it's not every day that one turns 70, is it? So I'm just patting that in. Now, Gemma from Pampered Wolf said that you do need quite a lot of this primer, so that's what I've done. I put quite a bit on, and it's true, because it's a gel formula, I think you don't get a lot of kind of purchase out of the tube. I suppose it's a kind of tube, isn't it? Anyway, there we are. We've got the primer on, and the next thing we're going to do is go in with the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation, which is one of my new faves. Again, it comes in this sort of wide tube, which I do like. I'll pop a bit on the back of my hand, but it's not too liquidy, which is good. It's not too runny. So let's pop that on. Now, yesterday when I was trying this video out and decided not to use it, I used a sponge, a damp beauty sponge, instead of my brush. So should we do that today? I think we will, just to see how it works. I'll just pick up a bit more that's on the back of my hand here. And this is what I did yesterday, and it seemed to work very well. So how is everybody? Has anyone else got a birthday in September? Anyone got a big birthday in September? I am so happy that I have got to this stage, because my darling mum didn't make it. She got to 69, and where are we? July, April, May, June, July. Yeah, so May, June, yeah, that's right. So she was 69 and 3 months. Now, she lived a very unhealthy life until the last few years of her life, when she tried to remedy things, but it was really a bit too late by then. So she gave up drinking and smoking. She used to drink like a fish and smoke like a trooper. And she gave all that up. And unfortunately, the reason she gave it up was because she had a very bad episode. Actually, she had a couple of episodes. She had I think a heart attack and a transient ischemic attack, is it? Or a stroke. Anyway, she had a couple of heart and artery issues, and that's what made her give up smoking and drinking. She may well have had high cholesterol as well, but I don't actually know because we didn't really talk about cholesterol in those days. So I don't really know whether she had high cholesterol, but I suspect she did because I have it, and I think it's an inherited condition in my case. Anyway, so that's not what I want for myself. So those of you who watched my channel before will know that I am really quite careful about my health. And I do have regular checks. I mean, I think we're all a bit different now, aren't we? We just, in the 80s, my mum died in 92. In the 80s and early 90s, certainly in the UK, we weren't really that aware of the things we could be doing to improve our health. I think the States have always been more advanced in their thinking about that. But anyway, we got there in the end, which is fine. The other condition my mum had actually was osteoporosis, and she did tell me about that, but I didn't really take any notice until it was too late, because I do have osteoporosis now. Although as I'm on HRT, I'm hoping that that will sort of stave off any worsening of my thinning of my bones. Sorry, I haven't told you about the concealer. I'm using the Fenty Wear Even concealer. I think I'm in the shade 25N, as I am in the shade 25N, also possibly in the e.l.f. foundation. Now, all the details of all the products will be down below in the description box. So I'm just going to pat this in. Now, my mum didn't really wear much makeup. I'm trying to think, did she wear much makeup when she wasn't making herself up as an actress? I don't know if she did. I mean, she did like a red lip, although her lip colour was definitely more orangey than mine. I think she probably had a warmer skin tone than I do. I think I think I've got a mixture of my mum and my dad's colouring, because my mum's eyes were a slightly different colour. They were a bit bluer, and my granny's eyes on my mum's mum were very blue. And my dad's were kind of pretty pure green, I'd say. I don't think there was any hazel in there at all. And he was very pale skinned, although dark hair. Well, not very pale, but he was pale skinned with very, very, very dark hair. Both my parents had very dark hair, actually, but my dad's was particularly dark. I think it was almost blue black. My son has a similar colour, hair colour. So I think I've kind of got the mix of both of them, whereas, so my skin tone is kind of olivey. It's not really warm. It's olivey cool, and my dad's and my mum's was warmer. Anyway, I'm waffling again, but my mum's choice of red lip was definitely more orangey. I think I've still got one of her lipsticks upstairs in her makeup bag. So, what was I talking about? This is what happens to you as you get older, doesn't it? You forget where you are. I always like to think of my brain, actually, just talking about memory for a second. I always like to think of my brain, you know, when you're trying to think of a word or the name of something, like a Rolodex, was it called, or a Rolodex? You know, one of those old-fashioned address cards that you had to, that was on a kind of like a carousel, and you rolled it back or you rolled it round to try and find something. I like to think of my brain like that. So if I've got to go back in time and try and remember somebody's name, I'm kind of scrolling through to get to the card that's got the name on it. Anyway, so we've got the concealer on. I'm just going to set that with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder, which is my Holy Grail powder. Just gently pat that in. I haven't been getting on with loose powders at all lately. I thought I liked them for a while, but I don't think I really do. Well, not at the moment anyway. I need to kind of play about with them a bit more. Right, powder's on. Let's do eyebrows now. So I'm going to be spending my birthday in Suffolk, which is a county in East Anglia on the east coast of the UK, and it is my favourite spot. It's a place I'd like to move to if possible, and the weather is supposed to be lovely. It's actually Thursday when I'm filming this, So my birthday is actually on the Sunday, but we're going down tomorrow, the Friday, and we'll just be a little family grouping. So it'll be my daughter, my son, my husband, my grandson, and my daughter's dog called Moose. Why she called it Moose, I don't know, but it is a cute dog. Don't ask me what breed it is, I honestly don't know, but it's kind of a medium-sized dog. He is, not it, it's a he. And he is really good. He's very well behaved. He's waggy and he's very friendly and not too excitable. And of course he loves the water, so we will be going in the sea. In fact, I'm hoping to go in the sea on my actual birthday on the Sunday morning, which will be great, although it will be very cold and it's a shingle beach, so we have to wear shoes so that we don't fall over, because otherwise it's impossible to walk on the shingle, isn't it? Very, very difficult. Now, I'm just going to fill this little gap in. Come on. This is what this pencil is really good for, she says, hopefully. There we are. Right, let's just sort that out with a brush and diffuse it. I quite like this sort of bushy effect eyebrow look. It's not exactly Dennis Healy, is it? But we don't want Dennis Healy, do we? Okay, eyebrows done. Now we're going to use one of the Lisa Eldridge liquid, it's not liquid Lurex, is it? I can't remember the name of this. I'll put it on the screen for you down below. So I'm just going to apply it. It looks very much like the colour of my eyelids, which is why I thought it would be a really good shade to use for this type of makeup look. Now, I've got to be very careful because I don't want to do what I did with the RMS Beauty. It wasn't a liquid eye product, but it was it was in a little tube, and I got a huge blob on my eyelashes and it sort of went into my eye a bit, and we don't want that to happen, do we? So just being very careful. It feels absolutely gorgeous and silky satiny on the lid. It looks very much like my lids but better. Right, quickly put the top on because we don't want it to dry out. And the other new product is this mascara. It is called Better Than Sex. I'll be the judge of that. And it's by Too Faced. And I got this free in a Cult Beauty order the other day, which was rather nice. I think it was one of those birthday gifts. They like to send you something. So it's a little travel size, little nice thick brush, which I like. So let's give this a go. I've tried it a couple of times. The one thing I found on first application was they were that they made my lashes look a bit spindly, but I think you've got to give it 2 or 3 coats. And of course, as we know, brand new mascaras, actually now I can see this is the 3rd day I've used it, and already it's starting to thicken up. It seems to need to get going, doesn't it, a mascara? In fact, Charlotte Holdcroft was talking about that the other day on her channel. I think she'd been trying out the Charlotte Tilbury. So I think this is getting better. Yeah, it's definitely getting better. Just see, the only trouble with the little minis is you don't get much of a handle, do you? The brush is probably the same size, I assume. But the handle isn't, because that's where all the product is stored, isn't it? So you don't get quite the same effect of holding the brush, do you? Let's get a bit more product in there. Right, actually that's not bad for a first coat, is it? Right, I'm having to hold my little mirror because otherwise I can't see what I'm doing, because I've got one eye for reading and one eye for distance, and it's slightly, I mean, it's easier, it's great because I can actually do my makeup without having to worry about glasses getting in the way or worry about lenses, because I've stopped wearing lenses. When did I do that? 2012, August 2012 actually, so 12 years ago almost exactly. I had the laser eye surgery, which is one of the best things I have ever done, is being able to give up wearing lenses. And the only time I wear glasses is for close work, and they're just readers, which I can buy off the shelf. I think we might give it one more coat, you know. What do you think? I mean, they are very long, aren't they? But that's partly to do with, well, it's a mixture of getting the lash lift, which means that they actually curl upwards, and also using an eyelash growth serum. Now, it's funny, I said to my lovely friend Tina of Tina's Best Midlife that I would try the Swede, I think it's called Swede, eyelash growth serum that doesn't have prostaglandins in it. But I haven't finished my Revitalash. It seems to be going on and on. So although it costs a fortune, it seems to last forever. So I'm not going to buy a new one until I've finished this one, because it is very expensive. I think Revitalash is over 120 quid, so it's a lot of money. I don't think the Swede one is as expensive actually, but to be honest, I'm not bothered about prostaglandins really. I think if the UK government or the UK regulator thought prostaglandins were bad for the eyes, they'd make a ruling on it, I think. So to be honest, I'm not too worried about that. However, when I finish the Revitalash, I might try the Swede. Right, I can see I've got a bit of fallout here, so let me just sort that out. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Now let's put some blush on, and I'm going to use my Hourglass Mood Exposure blush, this one here, because I really like the colour and I think it will complement the eyeshadow such as it is. So let's just be very gentle with the application, and I think I'm loving that Lisa Eldridge eyeshadow, I must say. We'll just kind of dot the face a bit, just to put a bit of dimension into it, give a bit more colour. I don't think we need a lot of blush, do we really? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's enough because we're going minimalist, aren't we? Right, and finally let's do lips, and I'm going to use the NYX pencil because I really like it and it's nice and neutral and very reasonably priced. Did you know it's a ventriloquist? And then finally, I'm going to apply this lovely new Nars lipstick, which I think is called Unashamed. It's their satin range. Now, I saw Tanya B. Wells using this, and she used another couple of shades, and I went into John Lewis in the centre of town to buy all three, or at least to look at all three, and I could only get this one. The other two are not yet available in the UK. Why does Nars do this, or why do the brands do this? It's so ridiculous. Give us the shades at the same time as everyone else. Give us the same shades that the US gets. It's really unfair, isn't it? Because I think these girls at the counter thought, who is this old bag coming along telling us, you know, we haven't got the right shades? Because I couldn't get hold of the link while I was in the store because the internet wasn't working properly. So they probably thought, oh, she's talking complete BS. But no, I wasn't talking BS. It's just that they're not available here for some reason. Anyway, enough rambling. This is the Nars lipstick in Unashamed. It's a fab colour, isn't it? I think it's not unlike one of the BK Beauty lipsticks, actually. Feels absolutely gorgeous on the lips. Now, I've only worn this a couple of times, but Tanya said that for a satin lipstick, it lasted a long time on her. So, quick check in the mirror and make sure I haven't made any glaring mistakes. I think we're done. What do you think? So, there we are. What do we think? Do we like the minimalist look? I think it looks really nice, actually. I think I am leaning into this minimalist idea of the no black eyeliner. That's not to say I won't go there as the winter draws in. I probably will. But it just goes to show that coming out of your comfort zone can actually work sometimes, can't it? And listening to your subscribers and commenters as well, which is what I do on a regular basis. So please let me know in the comments what you think. And if you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I am so made up. I am so delighted with all the support and encouragement and subscribers that I've had over the past few weeks. It's been amazing, really, and I'd love it to continue. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you'd like to hear more from me, I have a monthly newsletter, and in that I don't just talk about beauty, fashion and lifestyle, but also books, films, TV, podcasts, other content creators, and all the other bits and bobs that make us happy. And thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you're all doing really well, and I'll look forward to seeing you on my next one. Bye!